Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to the 26th episode of my 1 vs 2 x 3 Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against 3 separate teams of 2 Emperor AI per team, and I'm playing as the Draconian Necromancer, Crogar the Corrupt. In our last episode, we eliminated another of our opponents, in this case the High Elf Dreadnought, Odrin Stabilis. We actually forced Odrin to surrender, and thankfully we actually were able to then, as a result, recruit him into our forces here. When an enemy AI surrenders, they end up then directly serving you as a hero, and since we had already hit our hero limit of having, I think it was set to 4 if I'm not mistaken, I really appreciated this because it gave me an opportunity to have another hero in excess of my 4 limit. So we have Odrin here, and he's leading a nice stack that we've been building using Crogar's Ghoul Curse here, and just fantastic to have him. And more importantly, that basically leaves us with just a single opponent left, Oscar Van Helden, who we basically encountered for the first time in our last episode. And you can see here he's got a stack of units kind of ready to potentially siege my city here. Although, quite frankly, with my 2 champion level bone dragons, I'm not particularly scared of what he's bringing to the table here with just a number of succubi, some other miscellaneous units here, a knight, and a couple other kind of miscellaneous units. So I think what we'll do here is we're going to dive right into this episode because there is a lot to do, and I am very, very excited about bringing the fight to our last remaining opponent. One quick thing I would like to mention before I get into the episode, though, is a comment from Casper Eklund. Once again, Casper left an excellent set of comments on the last episode, and the one that I wanted to highlight was in regards to this stack here in particular. So Dwemis' stack. There was a battle last episode where I was using these 2 fallen angels, and I actually kind of glossed over and didn't really even think about using the ability here, Petrifying Scream. So what this ability does, it emits a scream that tries to petrify all units caught in the attack for 2 turns. Elemental, machine, and undead units are not affected. So this is actually a really powerful ability, and something that I didn't even think to use in this battle when I was raiding this Forbidden Sanctum. I think partially because I was fighting against Wraith Kings, and Wraith Kings are undead, so obviously that Petrifying Scream would have no impact on them. However, I could have used it to potentially petrify the fallen angel I was fighting. And in particular, this is a spirit check, and fallen angels actually have quite a bit of inherent spirit weakness. Not just my undead ones, but as a general rule, the fallen angels have spirit weakness even when they're not ghoul cursed or ghouled into undead. So Casper rightly pointed out that I could have used that to maybe make that battle a little bit easier, although fortunately it didn't end up mattering as I was able to win the battle with no losses. But anyway, I really appreciate that comment from Casper Eklund. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to dive right into this because, again, we have a lot of work to do, and I do want to see if maybe we can deal some pretty devastating blows here to Oscar Van Helden this episode. Alright, so let's just make sure we've got all our units kind of the way we want them. I think we had, last time we had ended right as our turn was about to flip over, so let's do that. But before we do that, let's take a peek here because we want to see what Oscar is going to do. So I'm very curious as to what he's going to do. Again, like I said, if he decides to attack me, I think I'll be able to win without too much trouble, especially since I've got the benefit of the wall, which will limit... Oh, and of course he's going to run away. Yeah, that's a wise decision on his part, I would say. I think that with this stack, I'm far too powerful for him. It'll be interesting to see if... Oh, that's kind of annoying. So, Oscar Van Helden here, he disjuncted Whispers of the Fallen. He got a critical success, which unfortunately means that I lose all of my casting points for this turn. And unfortunately here we're going to be losing a scout. Not that that's entirely unexpected. We'll just do an auto combat and let him die. But yeah, when you get a critical success, it can knock out all your casting points. Okay, and here we are. We're being attacked now by 2 Shadow Demon Harvesters. This is in our city in the Shadow Realm. I would really like to try to Ghoul Curse these units because that would be just fantastic. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to summon some Lightning Sprites using my Shadow Elf Storm Priests. And the reason I'm doing that is because I would like to have... Important to note here that the gate is actually open on that side. So we'll move over here and summon our summon our little guy. And the reason I'm doing that, I'm going to send them in to basically die. And what I want to happen is, I'm going to just move over here real quick and drop a heal on our Deathbringers. So what I want to happen is I want these lightning sprites to force the harvesters to attack them, and in doing so, bring them out of defense mode so that I can get a better shot of ghoul cursing using my halfling Deathbringer. So let's see what they decide to do here. I suspect, yeah, they're going to move over to the left. I probably should have moved my Deathbringer over that way as well. Alright, so we're going to just kind of sit right here. And we can actually start maybe saucing the Shadow Demon Harvesters here with a little bit of damage from our ranged units, just to make this battle a little bit easier once we try out our ghoul cursing. And again, there's no guarantee that that's going to work, but it would be nice to get these units. I'm a big fan of these Shadow Demon Harvesters. Okay, they're moving in a bit closer. Unfortunately, I think these lightning sprites are going to despawn here quite shortly. Let's just take a peek. Oh, maybe... Okay, I thought that they only existed for a few turns, but looks like they will last. So that's interesting. So if we look at the Shadow Elf Storm Priest here, summons an electrified spirit for 3 turns that starts with 0. Okay, so I guess it is only for 3 turns, but we'll see how that goes here. Let's see. I'm curious as to... Okay, so they're attacking. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I'm necessarily close enough to be able to shadow step in. Oh, there we go, I can. Alright, 40% chance. Let's give it a try. Oh, and we were lucky enough to get it. That's fantastic. Okay. Now, unfortunately, we gotta kind of move in to help here because our unit might get beat up pretty good by these Shadow Demons here. So that's fantastic, though. We have now 1 Shadow Demon Harvester that we've managed to ghoul curse. So let's move in and see if we can, again, help out a little bit. I suspect this unit will get attacked now by the other one. Yep. Okay, fortunately they were able to survive, although they took quite a bit of damage. So we were able to ghoul curse this one, but unfortunately this one looks like is immune. Now I suppose if we were a little bit more coordinated, we could have used Dispel Magic to eliminate that, but... Or I should say to get rid of the immune to ghoul curse so we'd have another opportunity. However, I'm just going to take the unit out there. Okay, so that deals with the defense of our city in the Shadow Realm here. And that was the domain invasion. Now let's do the items here that we were acquiring. We did get a nice lance for Nabal, better than his weapon he was starting with there. Or I guess had already. We had a lightning quiver show up here for Dwemis, which we will equip as a shield. That'll improve his ranged attacks. And then we actually had a holy symbol appear for Wazul to give him another ranged attack option, which is really good. So, geez, it's a real shame that we lost out on this Whispers of the Fallen getting critical, or excuse me, on Oscar Van Helden disjuncting our Whispers of the Fallen, because again, that's going to take all our casting points away and mean we have to wait 1 more turn to get this Fallen Angel. So that's quite annoying, actually, but that is kind of the risk when you decide to... You know what, here? I'm almost tempted to just do this, because now we have a flying unit. Let's just take a peek here. See how strong... Oh, okay, this is a dragon city. Alright, well, we don't need to mess with that. Although it might be nice to grab this watchtower. You know what, we are going to trespass. Although they may decide to attack us, which wouldn't be good. Okay, there we go. The whole reason I wanted to do that was to get that watchtower so I'd have a better idea of what I could see from Oscar there. We will embark this unit. And you know what? We might as well just bring the Deathbringer over to join this stack as well. I was going to send him down to join Wazul, but by the time he gets down there, I think it would be more efficient to have him join that stack. So now the question is kind of how do I approach this? Okay, before I move them, let's deal with our other units here. So we had a few flying units that we're going to come kind of join in here with this stack. You know what? We can even clear this out with our flying stack here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the one behind. There we go. Well, let's take a peek at what's in here. Oh boy. This is actually quite a difficult battle for us here. We've got this Kraken. Let's take a peek at him here. So he's particularly good against boats. Fortunately, all of our units are flying. However, he has Swallow Whole, which is kind of dangerous. This is the same thing that Gluttons have. When engaged in melee, this unit has a chance to devour the target. The chance of this happening is based on the size of the target and the amount of hit points left. Unit will be healed for 20, so if he does eat, he'll get health back too. You know what? It's not worth. I think I'm just going to keep progressing. Keep moving over here. We're going to... Actually, we'll go for this to grab more movement. We can bring that Draconian in as well. And I was going to send this stack over to deal with that, but I think I'm going to just ignore it. And now I notice here that there's this set of impassable objects here if you're on land. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send Cirrus up this way to bypass these rocky protrusions here that are going to stop him if he's trying to move over land. This little guy was just going to do some scouting for me here. Alright, nothing too insane. We'll move into the water. Oh, we can grab some treasure with him. That'll be nice. Alright, and here's our stack that's now in the water over here. We are going to just move them over as well. And again, we're actually probably going to have to move up. I should have maybe gone north with them. Okay, so that's bringing in the reinforcements. Now let's focus on how are we actually going to proceed here. So I think I'm going to... I have to decide now. Do I want to just charge right into this city here, or do I want to get up on the road? I think we'll go over this way. We're just going to kind of gradually bring everybody over. Okay, so here's that stack. Now, I have left the city open, so will they be able to... Oh, yeah, kind of a bad move on my part. I probably should have maybe left the city guarded. But you know what? It's not going to matter in a way. I think I'm just going to start charging everybody straight into battle here, such that I can basically just bring everybody in to try to finish this off. Yeah, we're just going to start charging absolutely every unit I have, kind of right up the gut here. We'll leave these little guys here to guard. Excuse me there. So this actually is a good learning point as well. So what I did here is I ended up basically kind of moving in without scouting first and paying attention to where these units potentially were, and that's gonna, I guess, it may end up costing me this city, which kind of unfortunate there. So just don't let yourself kind of get sloppy the way I am, right? I have a really bad habit of doing that when I have the advantage. Like I said, I end up sometimes just kind of getting a little bit sloppy and pushing units in before I've done my due diligence in terms of scouting. So just don't let yourself fall into that bad habit if you can avoid it. We'll just take this unit out. Should be fairly safe. Yep. We're gonna just keep moving everybody over. And this little guy, I think we'll just kind of bring him over as well. Why not? Okay, we were going to send this stack up above last time, so let's do that. We did actually get a level up with Nabal here, which we will distribute here. Toughness, that's kind of nice. Extra physical protection, we don't have enough for that. Tireless. Okay, that would give Tireless to my entire stack here. Relentless Army. Bestows all friendly units with Tireless. That's not a bad spell. Let's see what else we can do with our Warlord. I think we'll maybe just save that point, try to get that extra toughness on him. So that's dealt with. Now, where was that other stack that we were... Right, we were going to send this unit up above ground to go and maybe take back this city. There we go. And... yeah, I'm still a little bit upset that I left this city unguarded, but I guess we'll just have to learn from that going forward. Not that, again, not that it's probably going to matter, but no sense making mistakes if you don't have to, right? Now, we raided this Sphinx Temple last time with Firax, so I think maybe we will... There's not really a whole lot left to do with Firax at this point. This is a little bit too strong for us, I think. Or at least I'm just not interested in clearing it, frankly. Let's head back to the Shadow Realm, I guess. Do have this flyer here, who is basically going to just come join. Do I miss a stack? I think we'll send Do I miss north here. Let's see. If we go in the water, yeah, that'll probably be our good move there. So we'll go there. With this stack here, we're going to go embark up there as well. We're just going to send, like I said, everybody's kind of coming to the party here. All right, let's just jump around to some of our units. We've already moved Odrin. Just making sure that everybody's kind of moved or is in a good position. Send this stack over. Where was that other unit? There was one that I was in the process of sending above ground, and then I got distracted by Nabal. So let's keep moving around here. Oh, right, we have this little stack here. You know what? It would be kind of nice to maybe have them come over to this Goblin City, so let's do that. We never did take that Goblin City. Okay, we've got some Shadow Demon larvae here in the Shadow Realm still, doing a little bit of exploring, grabbing some extra gold. There we go. We're still going to just jump around. We do have this guy doing some scouting, not that he's... Oh, and we have this unit here that had entered the Shadow Realm and was... Right, so this was where we were going to clear this out. Oof, got a Shadow Demon Lord. However, I think we'll be alright. We've got enough units in this stack that I think we'll be just fine. We may be able to actually Ghoul Curse this Shadow Demon Lord using our Deathbringer, which would be fantastic. So let's just take a peek. So we've got our Draconian Deathbringer. I think what I'll do... I'm going to throw a Weakened on the Shadow Demon Lord. And then I think I'm going to charge in at the little guy, take him out, or at least weaken him substantially. And we will move in like this, I think, and throw our Shock Trooper in defense mode. And then I want to kind of protect my casters there, my support units. So let's see what happens. Okay, perfect. Excellent. That's exactly what we wanted. Now we can move in and try for the Ghoul Curse. Oh, and unfortunately, I didn't look close enough, but this Shadow Demon Lord, I didn't notice, has 100% Spirit Protection thanks to having Strong Will. And that's going to prevent me from Ghoul Cursing this Shadow Demon Lord. So, unfortunate, but that's why you always got to read the fine print and make sure you know what you're getting into with particular units. So, once again, good learning experience there for me is always check that. Again, in this instance, not going to matter. I'm a little bit less familiar with these Shadow Demon units because they are still relatively new to me as they are added by the Shadow Realm mod pack that I have installed. So I'm definitely still learning about them. Alright, so that takes care of that. That's excellent. Alright, now let's keep the good times rolling here if we can. So now we've got all these units, and there's our Shadow Demon Harvester that we've recruited now. So let's kind of decide, how do we want to break this up? I think we will... Yeah, we're going to bring the Nightmare with. We don't want to leave him behind. We will leave this unit as a base guard. Not that I necessarily even need it at this point, but I think that would be the prudent thing to do. And with this stack, why don't we... let's see. It's got one healer in this one. This is going to be our unit that we want to maybe go clear this out. This Forbidden Sanctum. Meanwhile, with this stack, I think we're going to just leave them together and they can go down and clear out potentially some of these cities down here. So, like, for example, this city here, I think we'll send them that way. And they can group up with this little guy. Alright, so now let's jump around to the rest of our units here and just make sure everybody's kind of done their moving. Yep, alright, so we'll do our production as well while we're thinking about it. So we don't have a ton of income at the moment, a ton of gold, so we will, I think, just do a few Harvesters Guilds and a lot of merchandise. This is our Naga dwelling that we were able to take over there. So again, we're going to do merchandise kind of across the board, I think. Glass Armory. Interesting, okay. Infantry and cavalry units produced in this city obtain +1 melee damage. And that's as a result of having a... Here we go, a glass furnace. Well, that's kind of a cool city upgrade. We will do merchandise here as well. Pretty much across the board, I think that's what we're doing. Just to sort of make things pretty straightforward here. We have so many cities now, which is fantastic. This is great because we need all that income to basically keep our units from deserting us. If you don't have enough to pay upkeep, your units will start to basically desert you. So as my army has gotten quite large thanks to all my ghoul cursing, it's been, you know what, I am going to build an Embalmer's Guild here because I may, if I wanted to produce units to help out with the battle here right on the front lines, it would be nice to have them embalmed here, so that's what we'll do. Now for Wazul, I think I'm actually going to bring Wazul down this way and just hope that he doesn't get attacked. He may get attacked, and if he does go down, not the end of the world. I could also maybe use some casting points to help out if possible. Although, of course, I have none, so that's not going to go very well. Okay. Oh, right, and we can see what's in here. Ooh. Yeah, that's a little bit too strong for us, I think, so I'm going to... Again, the danger here is that we're embarked, we're on boats at this point, so... Yeah, you can see all these units are on boats, which is going to make that battle more difficult, so we're not going to try it. It's just not worth the risk. We could head down here, though, and try this dungeon. That might be kind of fun to raid. So I think we will try that out for size. We've got a dungeon up here, actually, that's begging to be raided. So maybe let's try that out. Let's see what we've got to fight. Ooh. Yeah, no, we're not going to try that one, I don't think. Even if we bring in a unit to maybe help out. Like, let's take one of these little guys here. Take the Jester and bring him down. Maybe next turn we'll give that a shot if we move that Jester in to help. Not that he's going to make that tremendous of a difference, but... Okay, we're just kind of finishing up everybody else here. Where does this underground portal go? Right up there, okay. Whoops. I think we'll just tell these units mostly to just chill out. There we go. We've got this unit underground here with Fallen Angels. Very, very powerful. We're just going to kind of keep on moving. Yeah, these units can stay there, guard the city. Our Deathbringer, we're going to just tell to hang out. Our Settler, on the other hand, it would be really nice to eventually get the Settler up here, but I don't think we're going to have time in this game. I think the game will be over long before that happens. However, I could be wrong about that, so I am going to keep moving him in anticipation of that potentially happening. Okay, and here's that stack that I brought up above ground, so now they're going to move in. So that's going to do it for our turn, so we're going to end it there. Now let's see what Oscar does. Again, we now do have the casting points back, so if Wazul gets attacked, I'm going to have to use my spell, Scourge of the Undead, to keep Wazul from dying, because I don't want to lose him, right? Okay, and it looks like he's either moving up this way or has just decided to run off. Oh, and I heard sounds like maybe something was being summoned. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a Shadow Stalker. Alright, we're going to just auto-combat that battle. There we go. And hey, our Raptor even got healed. Excellent. Okay. So let's deal with some of this. No thank you. We don't need your fairy help at this point in the game. Better at governing halflings. Cathedral of Bones gives extra production, or Adventurer, Scoundrel, Bard, and Martyr get +1 range strength. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. We barely have any halflings. Okay, now we are able to summon our Fallen Angel. I think I will summon it to maybe aid Wazul now that I think about it. That would probably be a decent option. But before I do that, let's kind of think about maybe how best to proceed here. So, fortunately, Crogar can actually move up from below here. Why don't we just grab this cannon real quick? We'll just take that out. There we go. We took some damage, but we got it done. And then we can move in. We can try and siege that city with Crogar just to have it. And then we can press into... You notice here along the border we've got the boundary of another city. So that is the city of Oscar himself. So maybe we'll head down this way, actually. I think that's... Yep, there we go. Alright, so we now have... We have full visual confirmation of the territory belonging to Oscar. We're just going to ignore that battle and start moving in this way. Yeah, we're going to just... We're kind of converging everybody. I feel like a shark when there's blood in the water. And I think we'll send Wazul actually up north here this way. Just to kind of have a multi-pronged attack here. So we'll summon the Fallen Angel to aid Wazul's stack there, just to give him a little bit extra oomph in that stack, because quite frankly it's kind of lacking. Well, they brought some dragons out to attack me. Or to posture a little bit, I guess. I'm not particularly intimidated by it, to be honest. So I'm going to move my units down there. And we will embark our Deathbringer. And now I'm going to be sending this unit kind of in with Wazul to help out. So we're basically just converging everybody kind of in that one area. There we go. We can take the city back. Nice to have this city back in our control. I think we're just going to absorb it. You know what? We can even grab that extra income. Because why not? There we go. Okay, and we actually finished. I noticed here that we finished our research on Age of Death. So we could start summoning this, although frankly I think at this point it might be better to just summon a few other things to help us out, like Power Ritual or something like that. I think that would actually be more beneficial. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to start working on Power Ritual. I was going to do Embrace Darkness on our City of Hif, but I really just don't think it's going to... the battle's going to go long enough, the game is going to go long enough, that our Bone Collectors that we're producing here are going to be able to get into the fight. I just don't see it happening, so I'm not going to worry about that. I suppose I could put Embrace Darkness on maybe this city, for example, and I could start building some Draconian units. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on strengthening the units that I already have, and this again makes my undead units have extra physical and blight in their melee attacks, so I think that's what I'm going to focus on here. That got disjuncted a while back. Okay, we had some level ups here, which is good. This was for Firak. He is now at level 8. He could get Summon Siege Engine, which is kind of an interesting spell. You basically summon a random siege unit, like a battering ram or a trebuchet, until the end of combat. Why don't we just buff him up a bit? We'll give him some extra health, some extra defense, a little bit of extra resistance. Not that he really needs it much, but we'll jump into the Shadow Gate here. And again, I was looking at potentially raiding this structure. We now are a little bit stronger, having leveled up a fair bit more. Let me just remind myself of what's in here. Oh yeah, we had the Archangel and the Shrine of Smiting. That'll be a tough battle, not to mention this Mass Bless. Yuck. I don't really like that, so we're going to just ignore that and do some exploring here in the Shadow Realm while we can. Okay. So with that unit, we're going to send this unit down south here. There we go. Okay, and with this unit, we're going to take a quick peek at what's in this for a bit. Oh, and that... Look at this. 2 Archangels. Shadow Elf Exalted. Wow, that unit looks pretty cool. Boy, that's a neat skin on this Exalted. That looks really good. We're going to abort that, though. I have no interest in trying that battle. I will, however, do this battle. And I think we'll just auto-combat it. Oh, unfortunately, we lost our apprentice. That's okay, though. We did gain some rabble, at least, I guess. Most of these sort of non-essential battles I'm going to just kind of gloss over, because our main focus now is really going to be on finishing the fight here with our final opponent. Ooh, that's another battle that I don't think I want to do. We're going to abort that one. You know what, though? I will bring this unit in, and we can mix and match to build the strongest available unit to try and go in and raid this wizard tower. When I notice here we have a Wraith King who can move, so we'll send him in. Let's grab some more research here. I think we'll just do maybe produce Deathbringer, because why not? Yeah, so most of our units have already moved. So once again, we now have quite a bit more income flowing in. So now we're going to focus on a little bit more if we need to produce any units in any of these kind of frontline cities. We can start doing a Great Temple here to get that extra. This is a Draconian city, so thanks to our racial governance bonus, we are going to be benefiting substantially. That's another Draconian city from having those Great Temples, so we can start producing those. And this is a Goblin city, so we won't worry about a Great Temple there. So again, most of these cities I think we are just going to kind of gloss over here. So, yeah, as I said, most of these cities we're just going to do merchandise. Although in this particular one, we could actually do a Great Temple in 2 turns, so let's do that. So now, as you can see, we are very limited on gold. We only have 6 left, so that means that everybody else is going to be getting merchandise, and more merchandise. So just taking care of all the production here. There we go. You know, in a way, it's kind of a shame that I'm not probably going to get to enjoy the benefits of HIF producing all of these monstrous bone collector units. I was kind of looking forward to having this sort of army of bone collectors come charging out of there, but I mean, I shouldn't complain. Obviously, I'm very happy that I'm at a point in the game where I've got a substantial advantage and I may not even need them, but it still would have been pretty cool to have them come charging out of there. I suppose I maybe should have done a better job of trying to build the city of HIF up more quickly. But alright, so we're almost done. We can build the Palace of the Perished here, which would be awesome to have. Actually, yeah, we can start working on that. Get those extra casting points from that. There's our throne city. So we're almost done. We have so many cities now. And El Rafan will also do merchandise. Although the nice thing about El Rafan now is we do have that Embalmer's Guild, so if we needed to produce any kind of backup units, we're able to do that. Like, for example, some more healing support units or something like that. We can do that no problem. And now we got to move all of our flying units over. Okay, we're going to grab that. Oh, and I forgot to group up the flyer with this stack. That's unfortunate, but not a big problem. And let's see now. Yeah, we're gonna head over this way. We'll just send this unit to. Actually, we can grab this gold with this guy. There we go. And we'll go join up. And meanwhile, these units here, I think what we'll do is we'll... Oh, and look at that. We found a giant's dwelling. There we go. And with this guy, we'll kind of follow the same path there. This little guy, we're going to grab that treasure. Now, have we checked in the Shadow Realm what's here? We have, okay. And this is Dwemis' stack. And we're going to send Dwemis up this way. And meanwhile, this unit can go, I think, pretty much right up here. And then disembark here and move in to back up Odrin. So I apologize if it does seem like I'm kind of rushing through this. What I'm basically trying to do is just kind of get everybody into the battle. Oh, here we go, an opportunity for us to level up. That will actually help us. And I'm going to do this one manually because I don't want that dwarf firstborn to get killed. Oh, and geez, you know what I did, and I realized this. I don't think I moved the whole stack. I think I only moved one unit. That's just force of habit and really sloppy on my part, because now only that one unit that I moved is going to be getting the benefit of the level up, so sloppy work on my part. Definitely a bit of an oopsie there for me. I think in my bloodlust I'm getting a little bit careless, so I'm gonna just pace myself, slow it down a bit. But in terms of kind of the general strategy here, I really just want to bring whoops, and again, geez, I'm doing crazy things here. In terms of the general strategy here, I would just like to basically get everybody kind of up to the front and have them into the battle so that we can basically have as many forces as possible right on the front line there, ready to do battle with Oscar. There we go. No real worries there. And yeah, look at that. See, I stupidly only moved the one unit. I should have moved the whole stack and they all would have gotten level ups. That was just a reflex, almost like a force of habit, like I said. Ooh, and you know what? We can go up here and then we can actually have this firstborn drink from the well. and become undead. So we'll do this one manually as well. Alright, so we got a lot going on here. Let's take out these Grimbeak Crows. There we go. And now we gotta watch out. This Firstborn could potentially get killed, so as could our Jesters. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna move in like this and put ourselves in defense mode. And then we're gonna do the same right here. We're gonna take one attack, big whoop. And move ourselves down here. And I'm fully expecting that our Firstborn and or our Jester are going to get attacked here. Yeah, there we go. Exactly what I was expecting to happen. Okay. Fortunately, we have some devastating fire damage here to help us out. There we go. And we can kill off the carrion bird, no problem. And now we've just got our one unit left to deal with. There we go. Alright, so let's drink from the well. And now all of our units are at full health, and importantly, our dwarf Firstborn is now a ghoul unit, which is awesome for us. Okay. So now let's think about how we kind of want to proceed here. So with this stack, maybe we can go clear out that Sphinx Temple. It's the thing that's nice about this is I'm basically just going to use these units to gather more resources for me. Again, not that I particularly need them at this point in the game, but nevertheless, it is still always nice to have a little bit of extra income. Alright, we'll tell that unit to basically just chill out and be a guard. And group up. The ball, probably not strong enough to raid this. Wow, that's an interesting... I wonder how this happens. So this is a necromantic circle, and yet somehow this feathered serpent ended up within this stack, along with this dread monkey. That's pretty bizarre. I think what must have happened is that these two units somehow got kind of mixed together. Very, very strange. Now, can we engage this battle without... No, we're going to pull everybody in. I'd like to avoid that, so we're just going to move that way. Really, really strange. We'll bring this little halfling guy in to back us up. And we'll embark this unit. Back underground. Tell them to chill out. And with this unit here, I think we're going to just keep on moving this way. Yep, this is perfect. Back up top here. We produced this Draconian Elder who can, I guess, just kind of guard the city. We've got this little boar. He's going to be the city guard. Not that we even necessarily need one back here, but... Actually, we don't want this guy in camp mode because we are producing bone collectors there, so... Don't want to forget about them. That's a nice tip. If you are ever producing units in a city and you have that city guard sitting there, there's a few options. One is you could have the unit sitting next to the city rather than right in it and put them in camp mode. Or alternatively, you can just not have them in camp mode, and then every turn you're going to be reminded to have to move that stack. And that way, when the unit is finally produced, you're not forgetting about it and having it just sit there and kind of wasting precious time that it could have been contributing to the battle. Okay, so we were moving this guy over here somewhere, I think. Yeah, there we go. These little guys, we're going to split them up just to have a little bit more scouting potential, I think. We'll send one up north here. Send one around the side here of this little mountain range. I'm basically just looking for any extra gold or resources that I can get my hands on. There we go. And then with this unit, we'll keep on moving down the road. Boy, having that advanced logistics is nice. You can see just how much of an advantage that gives me in terms of movement. Alright, we did have an item arrive. Oh, we had a headdress. Right, okay, we will replace this old, kind of useless one there. And we will end our turn. Alright, so lots of good things happening here in terms of our big, powerful units all moving in on Oscar. Boy, if I was him, I think I'd be shaking in my boots. Oh, and look at this. It looks like, oh yeah, so he's moving through my domain here, trying to attack my cities that I'm not leaving very well defended. Huh. Interesting, he's inciting a revolt in a city that isn't even guarded. Bold strategy. Alright, and we have a Frostling Shrunken Head has arrived. So this is a jewel item. That spirit protection was the main reason I was sending that to Crogar here. So I think we'll do that. That was actually, again, with the, I think more with the intention of having that spirit protection to fight against the Dwemis back when I was fighting him. However, still potentially useful to have, so we will keep that item. So obviously those cities are probably going to get taken and there isn't a whole lot we can do about it. However, we can... You know what? I think what I'm going to do... Let's see. This unit could use another healer. This one only has one. You know what we're going to do? We're going to send the Earth Elemental to join this stack. We're going to grab that. And we're going to come charging right in. Okay, and we found the throne. And there's Oscar himself. So, now we know exactly where he is. And we can start basically bringing everybody right in there. I'm going to completely ignore this. We're going right for the throat at this point. We're going to cast that spell, make things easier for us. So that's going to improve our melee capabilities there with all of our undead units. Now it's just going to be a mad charge over here. All units are going to converge on this one city, because that's where Oscar is, and that's also where you can see here he really doesn't have a ton defending it. He does have some of these Shadow Stalkers, which are pretty nasty units, but we're basically just going to start bringing everybody in en masse. Oh, he actually has some pretty decent defenses here in this particular city. None of these units are exceptionally powerful, but I mean, I suppose the fully leveled up Succubi are. But he does have a pretty healthy grip on this city, so I'm going to actually not be able to take that at all. So we'll run back. Let's see what we can do for spells here. Is there anything that's going to... You know what? Scorched Earth. There we go. This might be a good opportunity. You know what we can do is we can just do this. And then we can Scorched... Oh, unfortunately we don't have enough casting points. But by one casting point we're short. I would have casted on this city as well. That would have been hilarious. But this city at least will get raised as soon as he takes it. Yeah, I think once Crogar's stack gets in there, we're going to be just fine. Oh, we can summon Dread Reapers. That's kind of cool. But with our Fallen Angels, I think that's plenty in terms of that ability. think we'll just do Undying Army. Alright, Elraphon, obviously, yeah, both cities getting attacked. Not really that big a deal at this point, quite frankly. Alright, we're just gonna... Oops. We're just gonna do merchandise here in most of our cities. Just across the board to kind of take care of all of this. There we go. Hang on, in this one... Yeah, we're just going to keep doing that. Just kind of across the board here. We will do a Harvester's Guild here, though. And this is a Draconian city that could use a great temple, sure. Again, we're doing that mostly for the benefit of that. Here's a Palace of the Parish that we can produce. We will do that. Now we're definitely just doing merchandise. We'll just have this little guy hang out. So again, just across the board. Merchandise, merchandise, merchandise. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie Spaceballs, but I'm reminded of when Mel Brooks is playing the... It's supposed to be like Yoda, but it's yogurt. And he talks about merchandising, merchandising, when he's talking about all these Spaceballs products. Just like how for a while there, when Star Wars was at its peak, probably in the, like in the 80s or whatever, everything was Star Wars branded. And I mean, I guess to an extent, there still is that merchandising to this day. But anyway, that's just when I click merchandise, that's always what I think of, is Mel Brooks doing that. Alright, so we wanted this Deathbringer to join up here. Yes. And this particular Wraith King, we're gonna move in here. And we're just gonna kind of send him in as well. You know what, we're just gonna target right here. So with this unit here... Alright, so let's decide now, how do we want to approach this? So, we're going to take our best units, that's for sure. So we want these two, absolutely. I think we will definitely take our Manticore Rider, our Reanimator, and our Raptor as well. So that leaves room for one more. So what do we have? We've got one healer, two healer, big melee, big melee, big melee. So now the question is, do we want another healer or a Draconian Elder, or do we want more melee support? I'm kind of leaning towards having another healer, quite frankly. This is a human Manticore Rider. I think I'm going to bring another healer. There we go. So next turn, this unit can raid that Wizard's Tower. No problem there. I'm going to keep moving in, I think. Alright, now with this stack, again, we just want them to kind of move in as well. Alright, now, this army was coming in as well to back up Odrin, and with them, we might be able to combine and maybe do something to that city, but we'll have to see. Definitely, if we bring Dwemis in, we'd have the power to do that. Alright, we're going to keep advancing into the Shadow Realm here. Alright, let's take out this structure real fast. No problem at all there, and we made a new friend who we can use as a scout. Let's check out that Forbidden Sanctum. Maybe that one's a little bit less disgusting in terms of how well guarded it is. And with this stack, we were just kind of moving around. I think we'll go grab this city while we're here. That's going to be the plan here with this group. This goblin unit, sure, will join up. Alright, in this stack we were sending down to raid this particular city. I'm going to do that. Do that one in auto combat. We didn't lose anybody, and we actually made a Shadow Demon Larva, who we can use as a scout if we need him. We'll migrate this city over to Ghoul Draconians, because that's usually the ticket there. Oops, actually, let's go back to that city now that I've taken it. Oops. And we will move this unit off a little bit. We can actually head them over this way. There's some nice treasure structures to go raid. Alright, we've got some more exploring we can do. There we go. Boy, Shadow Demon Larvae kind of make a kind of gross noise when they move, though. And there's a Raven's Keep. I really like the way those Raven's Keeps look. They're quite neat. Okay, here we go. Now these units have kind of broken up and we can actually fight them. So we'll initiate this battle. There we go, no worries there. And now we can actually also engage this battle. Once again, no worries. Sell that for gold. Oof, some pretty strong units here that I don't think we'd want to kind of piss off if we can avoid it. These giants. Well, let's just see if we can. We'll just sit there for a minute and think about that. With this unit here, we're gonna just kind of do what we're doing with everybody else, which is just send them across. With this stack, again, we're just moving across the underground here. Another city, we can grab that while we're here. Grab this gold. There we go. And here we go. Now with this unit, just want to keep moving across. Just kind of wholesale bring everybody over. And I think we'll just group this stack up and have them be their own little kind of the rejects unit. Just don't tell them that, it might hurt their feelings. We're going to group these up here just to back up Wazul in case they decide to. In case Oscar decides to attack Wazul, it's nice to have some extra units there to back them up, basically. Keep our bone collector moving here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I had produced a builder a while back, and of course I forgot to start making roads. That was kind of a mistake on my part. So, let's see now, what can we do? We want roads, so we will... So we'll do this. Hang on, let's see, build a road. Go like that. We're just going to keep building the road to basically move all the way down there. Perfect. Alright, this glutton and friends can again continue to just kind of move on up this way. Cirrus and his incredibly powerful stat can do the same. This stack will move over here, and eventually we can raid that out. Go take out these spawning units as well. This little fly guy can grab the extra movement and move up this way. Our settler can continue to move. Meanwhile, these units underground here, we want them to head down to the city to go take that, so we'll do that. This unit as well, we're going to just keep on moving in. There we go. Okay, and we've used up almost all our casting points, so let's just see what else would be kind of beneficial for us. I think what we'll do here is we'll summon an Earth Elemental. And I say that because if we summon anything else, any of the bigger things, it's going to take 2 turns, but this will only take us 1. And we're probably going to initiate a battle here maybe next turn, so we're going to end our turn and let's see what happens. Alright, so Oscar captured Elrafon, and he also tried to capture this city, but it ended up getting razed, as you can see there, thanks to my Scorched Earth policy. I may not end up even summoning this because I do want to use my Scourge of the Undead spell, but we'll see if I'm able to do that. Oh, what are these? Oh, Shadow Demon Lords, yikes. Alright, let's just auto-combat that away. Wow, and nobody died. That's incredible. Alright, so we took Elrafon, but again, big deal there. Not a huge problem for us. Here we've had Odrin end up with a ton of really excellent equipment. I'm going to equip all of that. Perfect, good for him. Alright, so let's look at this battle here. We might actually be able to engage this siege here quite shortly. Can we move in? Oh, we can. Okay, so we're going to do this. And then we're going to do this. And we're going to move these units in to join Crogar's stack. We're going to get everybody that's able to in there to help, basically. Yeah, I don't think... Oh, hang on. Can that flyer maybe get in there? Yes, he can. Alright, there we go. Like I said, we're going to just move anybody that's able to get in the vicinity to assist. There we go. What about... Can these bone dragons get in here to help? Yes, they can. Oh, that's fantastic. So we're just kind of arranging everybody such that we want to get as many units into this battle as possible. This is going to be kind of hodgepodge, and we're not going to summon this unit because we want to use Scourge of Undead to try and improve our odds in this battle. Of course, it may get disjuncted. I'll just equip some items here quick before we do that. So, did get a nice shield here. Spiked Shield of Bloodthirst for Firak. So we'll sell that shield off. Now, we did get an item here. Right, okay, that's the ones that arrived for Odrin. We already equipped those. Alright. You know what? I think we've got a sizable enough force that we can engage this battle. So, we've got Oscar Van Helden, a human knight, succubus, a couple of miscellaneous bird units, a human rogue hero, Ahalor the Black Panther, a couple of shadow stalkers, human succubus, apprentice, and some crows. This city does have Iron Grip, which all it does is make the city happier. So we've got here Crogar with Titan, Bone Dragon, Wraith King, and Flyer. Two champion level 1 Bone Dragons. Wazul with his kind of hodgepodge stack here with some kind of miscellaneous units. I think we are going to be just fine. So, let's initiate the battle here. And let's do this. This is going to be fun. This is kind of all on the line right here. Everything's been leading up to this, basically. All right. So why don't we, just for the purposes of overkill here, we will use Scourge of Undead. And we're just going to start charging everybody in, I think. So we're going to use our Bone Dragon and our Titan. Other Bone Dragon's going to come flying in as well. Alright, and Wazul actually can cast some spells too, which we may have him do. I probably should have used this Draconian Ancestry on one of these Draconian units, like perhaps maybe this Phalanx unit. Not too late though, we can still maybe do that. So we'll send our 2 Bone Dragons in. Okay, so we're going to take some hits there. Nothing too devastating yet. Remember, we've got that Scourge of the Undead, I should say, running, which means we're going to get combat summons every turn. Okay, there we go. And we are now officially inside the walls. So now we will continue to move up with Crogar, and we're going to cast some more spells, because why not? Actually, we could try for Disintegrate on Oscar himself. And we got it. Hilarious. There we go, a nice blast. And we can beat the heck out of the walls here. There we go. Bring our flyer in to kind of assist. I think we'll send in our Fallen Angel like this, and then we will do a try and petrify. And that was successful, which is good for us. Throw a Dragon Ancestry on our pikemen. Send them in as well. Another Bone Dragon coming in to assist. Oof, some extra damage there. Fantastic. Wraith King's coming in. Wazul is looking a little fragile, so I don't really want to push him in too far. Here's one of our combat summons. Come in and engage the Human Knight. Try and prevent a charge attack there. So that Fallen Angel's really tanking some damage. Oof. That Earth Elemental just said nope to those Grimbeak Crows. Now they're dead. So we'll beat the heck out of the gate. Gate is now open, so all of our walking units can finally get in the castle. Alright, so let's finish off these apprentice units. There we go. Get some life back. Finish off these crows. There we go. Move in and start... Whoops, I forgot about those knights. I didn't even see them there. Whoops. I should have just killed them with my dragon. Instead, I'm going to have to now deal with them with these flyers, so I'm going to put in defense mode. A little bit of an oopsie there, but not the end of the world. So now Crogar, we're going to move in, and let's see what other spells we can cast. This is a good opportunity to just kind of throw the whole kitchen sink at this. I think we'll do a Dark Gift. Make our units that much stronger. +2 extra melee. Yeah, and we'll come help the flyers out a little bit. They get Inflict Curse and +2 extra melee damage, which is pretty solid, actually, when you think about it. There we go. So despite my little blunder, it ended up not really mattering. Oof. That was pretty devastating. Come on, get the kill on the hero. Yeah, nice. Okay, so we're going to move this Wraith King in. Yeah, I think this battle's pretty much all done but the crying. Shadowstalker putting up a valiant effort, but I think it's all for naught. You can see, though, these Shadowstalkers are pretty resistant even to these big Bone Dragon attacks. Because, here, we'll just take a peek at them. So because this Shadowstalker in particular has Blight Protection 100%, Frost Protection 100%, right away that means they're going to be pretty darn resistant, and 60% physical protection. They're going to be pretty darn resistant to a lot of my attacks, especially as undead, where I get more blight damage, and sometimes I do a bit of frost damage as well, like with like black bolts, for example. So yeah, these shadow stalkers are a real pain to deal with for me. So I'm quite happy that I was able to kind of overwhelm him with force rather than having to deal with him when I wasn't quite as prepared numerically in terms of just having so many units. Alright, we're gonna attack these succubus. Get the kill there, no problem. Do some damage here. Do some more damage there. Get the kill. And just like that, battle is over. Off to the abyss with Oscar. And look at all of Oscar's items. He had Necromancer robes. There's that Obsidian Wyvern mount. That's quite a decent mount. Nice having those flying mounts. Well, all that's left now, we will do just a quick upgrade with Crogar, because why not? Let's just jack up his health even more and his defense. Sure, why not? And we'll give him some spirit protection, why not? And yeah, so now all that's left is to take the city. And just like that, we've won the game. Whew, that was quite the journey. So 26 episodes, by far my longest series, although important to note that this was the first series that I ever did on a large map and with so many opponents. So I just want to say thank you guys for sticking with me on this one. I had a heck of a lot of fun on this playthrough. I learned a lot of different things. Even, you know, again, this is the however manyth time I've played a Necromancer in my time with Age of Wonders 3, and the second time that I've played a Necromancer on the channel for you guys. And your comments and your support has been just fantastic. Like I said, I've continued to learn quite a bit from you guys, and just kind of the awesome community that we're starting to have, and I'm really, really thankful for it. So let's just take a kind of look at the map here. I love doing this zoom out at the end and just getting to kind of see everything. Really, really cool. Now let's zoom in here and do the exit game, and we'll get to kind of see the summary. So this is always kind of fun to look at too. And look at the score differential. Holy cow. 58,000 points compared to some of the other scores here. So Wazul was, I think, the first opponent that I eliminated. He only had 3,000 points at the time. Oscar, the last opponent, with almost 20,000. You could see, though, that if I had let Oscar build up anymore in his one city here that I had vision of, I think it was maybe Dorivar. Yeah, it was the city of Dorivar here. You could see just how powerful. He had a lot of units. He had a lot of decent units there that were pretty tough. So if I'd have let him build up, he could have become a real problem. And let's take a look at some of these scores here. So we've got overall. So you can see here, total points. I was kind of neck and neck with everybody until, what turn is that? Somewhere around turn 32 is when I really started to kind of take off. Right after I eliminated Rolar, I guess. You can see that white, light blue line gets kind of cut right off there. So right after I eliminated Rolar was when I really took off. Although I started to kind of rise up pretty quickly once I hit about turn 20. I think that was right around the time, somewhere in this area here, when I ended up taking the dwelling here of Cyclic Rand, and then ended up getting all those really strong units. I got those Archon Revenant Titans that basically stayed with Crogar's stack all the way to the end of the game from there. And once you have tier 4 units in the first like 20 turns or whatever, you're very, very hard to deal with. You're very hard to stop. So yeah, this is where I made peace with the dwelling. And then probably shortly after that, I must have invaded it. Yeah, so I declared war on them at turn 20. Right around there, that's exactly what I thought. That's at the time when I gained those tier 4 units. And then from there on, it was pretty much, I don't want to say an inevitability, but I had a substantial advantage having very strong units so early in the game. So, fantastic. Let's just take a peek at the knowledge score. I'm actually much more in line with knowledge than I have been in previous games in terms of usually the AI vastly surpass me in terms of their knowledge income. So I'm actually quite proud of myself here that I was able to really match them quite substantially. Let's take a peek here at, well, happiness. I'm going to be low because I'm undead, obviously. Military score, of course, once I started kind of the runaway effect of ghoul cursing and greater reanimating undead, and you can see there just with ghoul curse, my military forces just exploded in size right around. I mean, there was a big bump here, like I said, right at turn 20, turn 21, turn 22, right when I acquired those tier 4 units. But then there was another big bump right around turn 35, which is where that started off, the inevitable kind of runaway snowball effect there of me just ghoul cursing everything in sight. In terms of domain, kind of basically like how much territory you take up. Again, fairly similar pattern. Right around turn 30, 31 is when I started to really blow up in terms of the number of cities that I had. So that was pretty good. And then seals we didn't have, as this was not a seals game. So overall, this was a fantastic playthrough. I really enjoyed playing it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Again, we're getting pretty close to 100 subscribers, so your support, it means everything to me. I really do enjoy running these playthrough series for you guys. And I love your comments. Like I said, I've learned a ton from you guys, and I'm just hoping we keep the good times rolling. So, if you've made it this far with me in this episode and this playthrough series, leave a comment on this episode and let me know if there's anything you'd like to see. I won't promise that I can deliver on it, but I'll do my best to see if I can maybe incorporate some of your suggestions or recommendations for future playthroughs or future race class combinations you'd like to see, or different specializations. One other thing that I've been thinking about is potentially doing something along the lines of imposing handicaps on myself. So for example, an idea that I had would be doing a playthrough eventually, maybe not right away, but in the future, another Necromancer playthrough where I try to win the game against Emperor AI using only tier 1 and tier 2 units. If I get a hold of any units that are above tier 2, so tier 3 or tier 4, I have to immediately dismiss them, and I can't build or recruit any units that are tier 3 and 4. That would be kind of my self-imposed handicap. So if you guys would be interested in seeing something like that, let me know. I've been kind of thinking up different ways to try to mix things up and add a new twist on this. So I'm also looking at potentially highlighting other mod packs and maybe some additional series, maybe as a kind of a side series to my main playthroughs. But anyway, enough of my ranting. As I said, guys, thank you very much for watching. This playthrough series has been an absolute blast, and I will see you guys in the next series.